Ekpa is currently in Finland court. The case has started. And you know the funny part of that? The witnesses that Bianca, Ojuwono, Tinubu, and Christopher Musa brought to Finland court to testify against our Prime Minister, Ekpa, the witnesses they bribed to come are people that belonged to an organization that Nigeria state have labeled a terrorist organization. So what Tinubu and Alexander Stubb did is this. They took away our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, a week or two to the redeclaration of the United States of Biafra. And they locked up Simon Ekpa, just like Nigeria locked up Nnamdi Kanu. And now, they locked up Simon Ekpa without indicting him for any crime yet. It was investigation. They isolated him. They tortured him physically, mentally, with all the imminent health conditions of death. That is what Finland did. So they isolated him, physically, mentally, socially destroyed him. He is still in their custody as we speak, without any indictment. They just suspected. This is the story Tinubu told Alexander Stubb, and Christopher Musa and Bianca Ojukwu told Alexander Stubb, that Simon Ekpa is inciting us. So what did Alexander Stubb do? You didn't investigate before you lock him up. You didn't indict him before you locked him up. Nothing. It was under suspicion, as reported to you by the Nigerian terrorist state, a country that has been declared the most dangerous place for Christians in the world to live. Alexander Stubb listened to them. He believed their lies. And he ordered them to take away our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finland and lock him up while the investigation goes on. Why didn't you allow him to stay in his home while this case continues? He is a member of the major Finland political party. He holds position in the transportation department of Finland. He is contributing as a local politician in Finland. So his integrity is very, very high. There is no reason why you know he can commit any act of terrorism. You know him to be a young, decent guy.
Yes, depending on your time zone and your location. The previous video on the day Mazen Nnamdi Kanu got caught, that DPM Dr. NGOZI Orabueze could see that now got a breakdown of everything that happened around the trial of man Simon Ekpa at the Paijahami District Court in Lati, Finland. One now, Obon Eman missed yesterday's broadcast. Watch this video from beginning to the end. If I would like broadcast from the USB government under the leadership of Dr. NGOZI Orabueze. Now this particular broadcast, Dr. NGOZI Orabueze melody broadcast no maybe since or ascended the throne of this DPM. One now, Chota know that Arapi for Bunine make you watch this particular broadcast from beginning to the end. That's a Kamutalunia from the miss yesterday because of one excuse or the other. Watch this particular video. Kinu kosi we call wife fenine mankinu beho. Basataro this man Simon Ekpa's ongoing trial and detention at the Finnish authority. Chota know that I watch this video. Uno mana mazen Nnamdi Kanu ne kuya steady ne kushike. Sinat na the day a woman nige take lead of this Biafran movement that the whole world mara that na Biafra diago. But this woman no post to the Biafran constitution on Amazon. Some people ji meri yakaji chiayoti moyamu man then I call USB government on not no bros on so Amazon no can no cause. Nenya, she's currently making move oti constitutional gesi banye the congressmen, people that matters in the society. Eti constitutional gesi we banye haka, and she's already doing it. Look at the post one a few hours ago. Careful that now she's making move, taking pictures with people that matters in the society. Congressmen in the US, even in other countries, they make sure that this particular constitution they rite haka which how we so we the one you one now settle one more down. Watch this video from beginning to the end. Can go target update her first before their place they get the video of the broadcast only yesterday. He watches your video. As he watches your video, you go follow Uno Rodo. One more follow Uno Rodo. Enjoy the rest of the video, guys. I will be right back.
Alright guys, in our screen again now, if you post Dr. NGOZI Orabueze in her official Twitter handle and the update reads, at a special breakfast this morning, June 14, 2025 with Congressman Budi Carter and re-elected GAGOP chairman Josh MC Kuhn, the United States of Biafra USB Constitutional Declaration document was presented to this esteemed guest. USB is a sovereign nation that exited from Nigeria on November 29, 2024 with the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. She also said, "I was delighted to hear how much Congressman Carter knew about Biafra. Great speech from both leaders." So Ifabo, the speech from Dr. NGOZI Orabueze.
Thank you so much. Please, if your phone is open, can you mute your phone so we don't get background noise, please? Once again, I thank the media for what they do for us. I thank the cabinet members, the United States of Biafra cabinet members that are here present for what they do every day to ensure that we all go home as quickly as possible to our motherland to build our nation. I thank you all for that. I want to use this opportunity. Can you please track who is making that noise, media or the COS? I want to use this opportunity to recognize our Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu. All of us are aware he was at the court yesterday on the 13th, right? It was such a coincidence that our leader Oyendu was in the zoo terrorist court in Nigeria on June 13th. And our Prime Minister, His Excellency, the Peace Ambassador, Simon Ekpa, was also in Finland on the same day, 13th of June. That shows that something good is going to happen to us. We are going home faster than we expect to go home and build our new nation, the United States of Biafra. For every Biafran, I believe most of you have been following what's been going on. Our leader Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu appeared in the Nigerian court yesterday to answer for nothing except why must we restore the United States of Biafra. That is the only reason that they are holding him. That is the only reason the Nigerian terrorist state, headed by Tinubu and the defense chief Christopher Musa and the delegitimized governors, are holding Nnamdi Kanu. Forget all that story they're telling. Forget all the shenanigans. Forget all the lies Nigerian government has been cooking every day against innocent Biafrans, against our leader Nnamdi Kanu. Forget all that. Nigeria is a terrorist state. They are the criminals. Nigeria went to Kenya, collaborated to rendition our Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. They blindfolded him in a mafia gangster way. They moved him in the night, blindfolded him, tortured him, beat him, kidnapped him from Kenya and moved him down to Nigeria. That was what Tinubu and Christopher Musa did. That was what they did to our leader. That was what Nigeria did to our leader. They kidnapped him from Kenya without going through the legal process, through the normal legal process to extradite anybody. And they signed the charter by the United Nations. They signed the charter of African Union, Commonwealth, which they are part of that body. Even Ekpa'S, Nigeria signed, is a signatory to those organizations that before you rendition somebody, before you take away somebody, a citizen, a British citizen, from one country to another, you must go through the legal process of that country to move that person from one country to the other. Nigeria signed those charters. But do they maintain it? No, because they operate in a gangster mafia style, terrorist way. They just talk to some people in Kenya. They are collaborators. I don't know if the Kenyan government was fully aware or in partner with that criminality. But Nigeria, anywhere they go, the leadership of Nigeria is all criminality. They colluded with some criminals in Kenya, planned with them, forcefully blindfolded Nnamdi Kanu, caught him, and bundled him to Nigeria, beat him. What bigger terrorism is more than that? That is a pure terrorist act. When you go to a foreign nation, another country, you catch a citizen, you hold a citizen, blindfold the citizen, beat the citizen, bundle him, put him inside a plane, and ship him to Nigeria without any legal process. Isn't that terrorism? That is what Nigeria, headed by Tinubu and Christopher Musa now, the ones that are talking about terrorism, that is what they did to our leader, Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu. Did Nnamdi Kanu commit any crime? No. All he was saying is, I'm practicing the law that was approved by the whole world, which is self-determination. The people have a right to choose who is going to rule them. All our leader Nnamdi Kanu was doing was to promote that, sensitize Biafrans, let us know we have the right to choose our leaders, not the terrorist leaders imposed by the Nigerian state to Biafrans, killing people, reintegrating non-terrorists, giving them AK-47, reintegrating them into the military and police, sending them to the southeast and other zones to kill innocent indigenous citizens. That is what Nigeria do. So who is a terrorist? The person talking about self-determination, self-defense, or the person that went to Kenya, kidnapped somebody, closed his eyes, beat him up, bundled him into an airplane and took him to Nigeria without going through any Kenyan law, without going through any normal legal process, without going through that which they signed in the charters of organizations like the United Nations, the African Union, the Commonwealth, the Ekpa'S, and all other organizations. They refuse to go through those processes because of what? They are a mafia terrorist state. Those organizations like the United Nations, the African Union, the ECOWAS, that they signed to be member of, they do not respect the laws of those organizations. They see those organizations as people they can always bribe their leaders, which they've been doing for so many years, but not anymore. So they go there and bribe their way into the leadership. They bribe their way into elected people that hold sensitive positions in these organizations. And then we are asking, if these organizations like the African Union, the European Union, the European Union on Human Rights Commission, the ECOWAS, the Commonwealth, if Nigeria is bribing people that work for you to commit crimes against humanity, to disobey fundamental and disrupt and trample on the fundamental human rights of citizens, which these organizations were established to protect, why should Nigeria still be a member of African Union, of United Nations, of the European Union, of the Commonwealth? Why should a terrorist state be a member of these organizations as we speak? That means the leadership of this organization, some of them have been compromised to destroy the integrity of these organizations. And that must be corrected immediately. Or else, these organizations are going to be relegated to the trash of history. That is what they did to our leader Nnamdi Kanu, who currently is spending almost 5 to 6 years in DSS dungeon, in prison in Nigeria for nothing. Nigeria President and Christopher Musa, they are holding Nnamdi Kanu for almost 5 to 6 years for nothing, except let my people go. We have the right to self-determination. We have the right to rule and choose who is going to be our leader. Nigeria felt can never happen because they are a terrorist mafia organization. They can jump into any country in the world, pay people in the police department, in the justice department, bribe them and bundle innocent citizens away from those countries. That is what Nigeria has done for the past 100 years. Not anymore. Not anymore. So we Biafrans gather today to tell our Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu, we appreciate you, we cherish you, we honor you for your resilience, for your persistency. Do not let them push you. Do not be compromised, because the United States of Biafra has been declared. That which you seek is here already. On the same note, I want to also recognize our amiable Prime Minister, His Excellency Obatobie, the Peace Ambassador Simon Ekpa, whom the Finland government colluded with the Nigerian government and took him away just about a week or 2 weeks to the redeclaration of the United States of Biafra in Finland. That was what Alexander Stubb did. He listened to the terrorist state of Nigeria. He colluded, Alexander Stubb colluded with the Nigerian state for economic gains. And a week to our convention in Finland, he and his cronies, they get the order to remove our prime minister, take him away so that he will not declare Biafra. And Finland obeyed Alexander Stubb, who colluded with the Nigerian terrorist state to remove our prime minister, Simon Ekpa. Even though Simon Ekpa has never committed any crime for his many years of residency in Finland. No record, zero. But all of a sudden, Nigeria went to tell Finland that Simon Ekpa is, in bracket, a terrorist. He is a terrorist financier. He is instigating people. Bianca Ojukwu, Christopher Musa, and Tinubu, they went to tell Alexander, take him away. He is a terrorist. But Alexander Stubb, you did not ask them what is the reason why you think they branded him what they branded him, which he is not. No, you did not do that. All you did is that your legal department, the highest legal department in Finland, you went on this manhunt to clamp Simon Ekpa down. You picked him up on your orders. You removed him from his people that he was protecting. And within the timeline, Finland took our prime minister away in November 2024. Within just 2 months of that incident, Biafrans lost over 1,500 innocent indigenous Biafrans. Nigerian state killed them. They massacred them. Innocent children, women, they have committed no crime. They removed our prime minister. Alexander Stubb removed our prime minister. And Tinubu and Christopher Musa, they went on the massacre. They invaded Biafran territory because they know we are going to declare our independence in Finland. Within that timeline, they killed many innocent Biafrans. They invaded, they burnt many homes. That was a plan between Finland and Nigeria state. There are no two ways about that. Do not be deceived. No story. This is exactly what happened. And the intention is to stop the restoration of the United States of Biafra. Nothing more. Because the United States of Biafra is where the mineral resources, the rich oil, that all these foreign countries, you bribe your way, you buy them, it comes from Biafra land. That is why Tinubu and Christopher Musa is ready to kill all Biafrans as long as that oil gets to you. Not anymore. I promise you, not anymore. You cannot come and kill us and take our oil to go develop your country while our own people are lacking the basic amenities in life. They lack everything. No health care, no electricity, no internet, nothing. And you milk the oil to go develop your own country. Search your conscience. But you know what? Not anymore. That which you know, we know it 10 times. So our Orabueze is currently in Finland court. The case has started. And you know the funny part of that? The witnesses that Bianca Ojukwu, Tinubu and Christopher Musa brought to Finland court to testify against our Prime Minister, Ekpa. The witnesses they bribed to come are people that belonged to an organization that Nigeria state have labeled a terrorist organization. So what Tinubu and Alexander Stubb did is this. They took away our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, a week or two to the redeclaration of the United States of Biafra. And they locked up Simon Ekpa, just like Nigeria locked up Nnamdi Kanu. And now, They locked up Simon Ekpa without indicting him for any crime yet. It was investigation. They isolated him. They tortured him physically, mentally, with all the imminent health conditions of death. That is what Finland did. So they isolated him, physically, mentally, socially destroyed him. He is still in their custody as we speak. Without any indictment. They just suspected. They say he's a suspected, inciting us. Simon Ekpa is suspected of inciting Biafrans to in bracket, terrorist. This is the story Tinubu told Alexander Stubb, and Christopher Musa and Bianco Ojukwu told Alexander Stubb that Simon Ekpa is inciting us. So what did Alexander Stubb do? You didn't investigate before you lock him up. You didn't indict him before you locked him up. Nothing. It was under suspicion, as reported to you by the Nigerian terrorist state, a country that has been declared the most dangerous place for Christians in the world to live. Alexander Stubb listened to them. He believed their lies, and he ordered them to take away our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finland and lock him up while the investigation goes on. Why didn't you allow him to stay in his home while this case continues? He is a member of the major Finland political party. He holds position in the transportation department of Finland. He is contributing as a local politician in Finland. So his integrity is very, very high. There is no reason why he can commit any act of terrorism. You know him to be a young, decent guy. But you followed the Nigerian terrorist state who told you to lock him up, isolate him, even though you know he has not committed any crime in Finland. For 13 years or more, he has been living in your country. He has his home. Why didn't you allow him to go from his home and go to court or part of the investigation, go to his house and ask him any question that you want to ask him? Why do you have to lock him up? Why do you have to lock an innocent man up? Because you listen to Tinubu and Christopher Musa and Bianco Ojukwu, people that are ruling terrorists, people that engage in terrorism, people that kill thousands of Biafrans in Biafran land, in the Middle Belt, in Northeast Nigeria, in Northwest Nigeria. Why do you have to listen to terrorists? What makes Alexander Stubb different from terrorists? What makes you different? When you listen to a country that has been declared the most dangerous place for Christians to live in the world, what makes you different from associating yourself with them? Then you locked Simon Ekpa up, and now you colluded with Nigerian government to go and bring 3 members of IPOB. This is an organization that the Nigerian state has declared a terrorist organization. So Alexander Stubb, you colluded with Bianco Ojukwu and Tinubu and Christopher Musa to invite members of an organization that Nigeria declared a terrorist organization. You invited them inside Finland to testify against an innocent guy, Simon Ekpa, who is just fighting for the freedom of his people from the terrorist state of Nigeria that kill his people by the thousands every week, every month. If you do not know the history, why don't you follow the real legal process? That someone is innocent until proven guilty. Why didn't you allow him to be in his house while you go through the investigation process? Do you have to lock him up, isolate him, beat him up, tie his hand, deny him of food? He feels sick. Most times his medical practitioners come to Finland prison to visit him. You refuse that visit. 2 people you can never refuse visit in prison all over the world. The person's legal representative and the person's representative or primary care or medical doctor. These 2 individuals. We have proved that Finland refused the medical providers of Simon Ekpa to see him, where they isolated him. And we are talking about one of the freest countries in the world. Now the world knows that Finland, what you say during the day is is different from what you say at night. We do not want countries like that for their names to be written in gold or in history, because you are not making the world a better place. Now you're holding Simon Ekpa because Nigerian told you to hold him. Did you ask Nigeria how many Biafrans, innocent Biafrans, men and women that they have murdered? As we speak, the Nigerian state is in Biafran nation, our nation, killing thousands, killing hundreds of innocent Biafrans. Just because of what? Just because we are Biafrans. Finland, did you ask Tinubu and Christopher Musa what is their machine guns, what is their vans, what are their bullions doing in Biafra land? Did you ask them those questions? Why are they killing innocent Biafrans for nothing? No, you did not ask. That does not concern you. That is not what United Nations, that's not what Commonwealth, that's not what African Union is all about. No, it's all about you helping any government that you have a common interest with. It's not about humanity. It's not about the basic and fundamental human rights of people. No, Alexander, stop. You don't care about that. You care more about the oil contract you and Tinubu is talking about. I promise you, you will never, ever, ever have such contract in Biafra land. The oil comes from our territory. So I want to use this opportunity on behalf of all Biafrans to thank our Prime Minister for your resilience. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for standing up to this subjugation, this terrorism, this intimidation. Thank you. Thank you. United States of Biafra has been declared as a sovereign state with all the legal documents we need to confront any nation in the world, any person in the world, including Finland and Nigeria. That which you seek has been declared and has been obtained. Be not moved. I want to use this opportunity to thank all the Biafran Liberation Army and the Biafra Defense Forces scattered in the 40 states of the United States of Biafra. We will continue to build one of the best military in the world, with all the trainings, both international and local, that they need to defend our land and our people from the reintegrated and rehabilitated terrorists of the Nigerian state. Your task is to defend our people. That we will do efficiently, very, very well. We have only one nation, the United States of Biafra, with one leader, Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu, our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, and the Deputy Prime Minister, and the surrogate to our Prime Minister, Dr. Orabueze. That is the only government we have in Biafra. Anything anybody is telling you is not right. Biafra is a continuum. From Odumegwu Ojukwu, we move. It is a continuum. To Wazulike, we move. It is a continuum. To our leader Nnamdi Kanu, we move. It is a continuum. To our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, we move. It is a continuum. To my humble self, Dr. Orabueze, it is a continuum. Anything outside this process, anything outside the instruction of these individuals is a fallacy. So we thank our Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra Defense Forces, and the Navy Air Force. I thank the 40 state administrators. We have 40 states in the United States of Biafra, and each of these 40 states have 15 counties with the wards and the districts. In each of the states, we have the state commanders, the military commanders, putting our military together. And we have the 15 state commanders putting the military together. We have the ward and county. I thank you so much for what you do. We don't make noise. We must defend our land. It is our task to do that and flush out all the reintegrated terrorists sent in by President Tinubu and Christopher Musa and Bianca Ojukwu and co, and the delegitimized Southeast and South governors into our land. Self-determination is our right. Over 50 million Biafrans voted between January 1 and November 28 to vote to exit Nigeria. Over 50 million has voted. They voted for the self-referendum that we want to rule ourselves. Biafra was a nation, full-fledged nation, between 1967 and 1970. And we fought a brutal war with Nigeria. At the end of the war, it was declared no victor, no vanquished. But the criminality of the Nigerian state, with the Fulani oligarchies that are doing all this criminality, it continues till date. That is why the Biafra today is never, ever going to be the Biafra of 1967 to 1970. So I thank all the 40 state administrators, their commissioners, and all the executives that are playing role, putting the structures, hiring thousands of Biafrans to start work immediately as we flush out the Nigerian terrorist state from Biafra land. Thank you so much. Do not be moved. It is our nation. It is our land. I want to use this opportunity also to alert Biafrans on the enemies of Biafrans. Just like we have those 3 criminals that went to Finland, hired by the Nigerian criminal state to go and testify against our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. The same way we have some criminals that have walked around our Prime Minister in the ex-Brigade cabinet that have sued the current United States of Biafra cabinet members. I'm telling you, Biafran, be not moved. I want you for a lawyer. Let them be ready. Let them be ready. I promise you, they have no clue what is coming. You see, this nation, this new nation, no one can tamper with that. It is the wish of the people. The wish of the people must prevail. Not the wish of the terrorists, not the wish of the agents of Nigeria, parading themselves as fallback group. These are paid agents of the Nigerian state. Just as their counterparts are doing in Finland, they are doing anywhere they are. But they have failed. The United States of Biafra is a sovereign state. We followed all the due process. We met all the criteria for a nation. Nobody can stop that. We do not have to be recognized by United Nations to be a nation. There are countries that are not recognized by the United Nations. They are functioning as a full-fledged countries. There are countries that are recognized by maybe just one country that is recognized by the United Nations, and they're functioning as a full-fledged countries. There are countries that are not recognized by any country recognized by the United States nations, and they are functioning as a full-fledged nation. We are the people. United States of Biafra is a full-fledged nation. No one can stop that. We do not need the recognition of the United Nations to be. The countries that recognize United States of Biafra, that recognize the Republic of Biafra between 1967 and 1970, they never canceled that recognition. And those countries were in touch with them, and they are fully in support of the United States of Biafra. At our declaration in Finland on 29 November 2024, we have recognition from countries like Amazonia and the Eritrean government in exile. So we're already building our alliances from other countries in the world, including countries like South Korea and other countries, other nations that are in love with the United States of Biafra. Nations that have ties to Biafra. Nations that do not want to be ruled by terrorist government of Tinubu. Nations that do not want to live with reintegrated terrorists. Who in their right mind we want to live in the same country with a reintegrated terrorist? Who? I believe everyone listening to me, none of you want to live. Our nation, it lies in our hand. The declaration, the protection, everything lies in our hand. So Biafrans, do not be moved. We are on the right path. The United States of Biafra has opened their Washington, D.C. location. Our United States of Biafra Constitution and Declaration document is on Amazon. I tell everyone here, please go ahead and purchase yours. We are building one of the best countries in the world. The Nigerian state continues to kill our people. Innocent men, innocent women, innocent children. The pictures are all over social media. This is a country ruled by President Tinubu with the Defense Chief Christopher Musa and their Foreign Minister Bianca Ono that went to Finland to file paper against our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Actually, she filed it at the Finnish Foreign Embassy in Nigeria, from where they gave order for them to pick up our Prime Minister. Bianca Ono, shame on you. That is how the Nigerian terrorist state roll. They believe they have somebody in the United Nations in the top government platform. They believe they have somebody in African Union in the top government executive platform. They believe they have somebody in Commonwealth. They bribe their way into all these organizations and continue to make the world a very dangerous place by reintegrating non-terrorists that go about killing indigenous Christians, indigenous Nigerians, indigenous Biafrans, displacing them from their home, burning their homes, destroying their farmlands, their economic power. That is what Nigeria do. Any country that associates themselves with Nigeria should be ashamed of themselves. It is a terrorist state. If you were doing that before, now I am giving you that information so that you can knowingly, with the information you have, remove your partnership with the Nigerian state. The Amnesty International have reported about the forceful disappearances of indigenous Nigerians by the Nigerian security agents. At a meeting I had earlier today with the citizens of Edo State, the governor of Edo State narrated how he was picked up from his home around 1 a.m. in the midnight by the Nigerian state. They picked him up. He did not commit any crime, nothing. What was his crime? Just being a Biafran, just like me. I am a Biafran. That was all. The Nigerian state, on the orders of Christopher Musa and Tinubu, they invaded this innocent Biafran's home, picked him up in the middle of the night. He narrated to us today how they took him to Enugu, from there to different Abakaliki prison. Guess how long he spent in the Nigeria, in the hand of Tinubu? 1 year and 4 months. A year and 4 months. No crime. He didn't steal anybody. He didn't commit no crime. Nigeria, Tinubu, and Christopher Musa locked him up for a year, 1 year and 4 months. And he told us how they will not allow his family member to see him when they come to visit him. They told him that Tinubu and Christopher Musa have told them to keep him incommunicado from his family, from his children, from anyone, for committing no crime, just for self-determination, just for being a Biafran. 1 year and 4 months. And somebody is associating himself with Tinubu and Christopher Musa and any Nigerian official or politician. He told us today what happened to him. And he told us how other innocent Biafrans that were invaded and taken away by the Nigerian state, some of them died for nothing. So you have a country that's a killing machine for its citizens. And you, a world leader, you are associating yourself with that kind of country, with that kind of leadership, thinking you can continue to intimidate the people, to kill them, and to believe the lies of Tinubu and Christopher Musa. Search your conscience. So I think that's all I have today. That is what has happened over the past few weeks, and we've observed. And today, this fundraising is very special because the people that Tinubu and Christopher Musa bribed to go to Finland court to testify against our prime minister, in the same way, Tinubu and Christopher Musa bribed some Biafrans in the United States of America to sue the United States of Biafra cabinet members to court for nothing, just for the same thing, the same pattern, the same criminality of the Nigerian state. But they will always use Biafrans. Be not deceived. They, the Fulani terrorists, will always use Biafran. That is what they call divide and conquer. So in the United States of America, they discovered some willing tools that they've used them to sue the cabinet members of the United States of Biafra government under His Excellency Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu. They sued them to the Washington District Court. But what they know is bigger than them. What they don't know is bigger than them. Not what they know. What they don't know is bigger than them. They brought some foreign partners, some foreign people working for the Nigerian state to stop Biafra, to sue those that are working for Simon Ekpa. But we will see how this game is going to end. The United States of Biafra is already a sovereign nation. No one can stop that. We've met all the criteria. We're building our alliances. We have a geographical area that is called Biafra, the people. Biafrans, do not be deceived. There is a difference between the indigenous people of Biafra as a people and the indigenous people of Biafra as an organization that is currently working with the Nigerian state, perpetuating all this criminality. So anything indigenous people of Biafra organization is part of the terrorist state. They are the one that went to Finland to testify against our prime minister. So Biafrans, do not be deceived, and the world, do not be deceived. The indigenous people of Biafra are our people. I am an indigenous people of Biafra citizen. I'm an IPOB citizen. But the IPOB as an organization that was founded in good faith by our leader, Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu, was hijacked by the Nigerian state. And all of them are the terrorists that are fighting the real people, the IPOB. So everyone should always remember that.